This week on the Computer Chronicles, Web Radio. We'll give you a guided tour of the many radio stations you can listen to on the web. We'll show you Spinner.com, a meta web radio station where you can choose from hundreds of different formats. Davey D is a real-world radio disc jockey who uses the web to keep in touch with his fans. Imagine Radio is a website that lets you create your own customized radio station, and we'll meet the host of one of the most popular web radio programs, Geek Radio's David Lawrence. Plus, my pick of the week, a new input device for surfing the web. It's all coming up next on the Computer Chronicles.
The Computer Chronicles is brought to you by BigStar.com, with thousands of videos and DVDs for the whole family. Additional support by TechWeb for up-to-the-minute technology news. And by TVA, Television Associates, bridging the worlds of computers and video with DVD authoring and MPEG encoding services.
Hi, and welcome to the Computer Chronicles. I'm Stuart Chaffee. Well, radio will never be the same in this age of the internet because, as in so many other web-affected fields, geography doesn't matter anymore. Local radio has become global radio, strict format radio has become customizable and personal radio, and websites like broadcast.com and the incredibly popular artbell.com, with these websites you don't even need your radio anymore. Peggy Miles, you're our kind of expert here today. You wrote this book on webcasting, all about web radio.
You got it.
And this is changing the whole world, all the rules of radio, isn't it?
You're right. A normal radio station can only be so many miles from its station, but for this you can pick up stations from Australia, from Austria to Brazil to, down the block.
I mean, radio used to be local. That's what it was all about. Right. It's like every radio station is everywhere around the world.
You're absolutely correct.
All right, I mentioned broadcast.com. You have it up here. What can you do with broadcast.com?
Well, on broadcast.com, you can have about 400 radio stations you can tune to, not to mention a bunch of video
stations.
stations.
You've got like a little list on the left of all the different kinds of stations we could listen to.
And let's say if you click right here on broadcast.com to listen, let's pull up this station right here. This is from Washington, D.C. This is WTEM.
This is a sports talk station.
Yeah, if you want your favorite program or sports station.
So if I'm a Redskins fan and I'm out here in California and I want to listen to my station and my guys doing the play-by-play, I can do it now.
And exactly. If you've missed a favorite game, you can also go back and listen to it later.
So this stuff is actually archived in there. It's not only real time. So it's like a lot better than radio, right?
It really is. It shifts it for the consumer. They're in control of the radio for the first time in the time.
Next question. Suppose I don't know if my favorite home radio station when I was a kid or in my hometown is being webcast. How do I find the answer to that question?
Great station. You can go to a website called brsmedia.com and also web-radio.com.
It's like the yellow pages of radio stations on the web?
It's exactly that. It's a directory. And we pulled up right now is an international listing. Not only do they have a national listing, but international. So we can go from Argentina,
Australia, you name it. So this is all around the world. This stuff is on the web.
In any language that you can imagine. There are some great stories about folks that have not been home for years and are able to listen to their local news and information.
In their local language?
Right.
So I take it there's a domestic part where I can go and look up a particular state.
And if we flip over here right now, let's figure if we can.
Well, there you go.
Here we go. California. California has an abundance of them.
Oh my God, look at that.
You got
all these stations are listenable to anywhere around the world in the browser.
You know what else? Not just in the browser. The next generation will be PC-based handheld units.
That's right.
Portable internet radios like your Walkmans, but you're going to be able to pick up any station from anywhere.
All right, let's show another example. Now, there are some stations which are just broadcasting on the web and really combining web-type stuff with traditional radio stuff.
Right, exactly.
Give us an example.
Well, let me see if I can find an example of this. Is a station in Los Angeles, Arrow
93 FM in LA.
And this is an accompaniment to their on-air signal. You can actually go to their website and play a number of games for prizes. You can join a cyber club. You can take a tour of Los Angeles. Anything you want to do.
It's like interactive radio, right? So I'm listening to the radio station, but I can do stuff with the station at the same time.
And you can also see what's playing on the air at any time of the day in case you forgot what the name of that song was.
And there'll be little commercials popping up there probably and little promos.
You're talking about commercials. Here's an example right now. This is actually into my email program. I got an email the other day, and it's from the radio.
Little funny icon at the lower left there?
Right, the radio station personalities, and if you click on this icon.
She's back.
Oh my God, it's a commercial. It's a radio commercial. It's a radio promo for that station. Embedded in your text email message.
And you can click through, get to the website, listen to the radio station live, or it might be music you can sample.
Wow, so I mean, it's all the same, right? It's web, it's radio, it's email, it's all mishmash that's on the internet. It doesn't really matter
It
anymore.
really doesn't matter where you get it and what it is, as long as it's information in the radio station you want to listen to. And you can actually see a radio station at the same time. You get the multimedia graphics of the
Right.
artist to enhance it.
Well, I mean, what's this going to do to the radio business? I mean, it's changing all the rules.
Well, content is content, so great content's going to go everywhere. If you're a good radio station or a good net-only station, you have the ability to succeed. But you can also put it to a lot of different places.
It's the same old web story. Little guy now has his own global radio network, right?
You got it.
If he's good. Peggy,
Absolutely.
you're great. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
All right, well, there is one website where you can listen to over 100 radio stations with a record library of well over 100,000 songs. It's called spinner.com, and it is the brainchild of David Samuel. Welcome, David.
Hi.
You've got this meta radio station, I guess, out there called spinner.com. Just tell us a bit about it.
Well, here's, I'm going to start off with our website, which is spinner.com.
Okay.
If people come by our website, they can download our application called Spinner Plus.
So you've got a player for spinner.com.
Yep, that's the easiest way to listen to the music. So when you click on this icon, you'll come over to our download page, and you can easily download our application. Let me just jump right into showing you the
All right,
application.
so that's the player I get once I downloaded your program.
Yep, and this is Spinner Plus. We're going to just jump right into the listening of music because that's actually what we're
So
all
you
about.
pick one of your channels, which is an Awesome 80s.
Awesome 80s.
All right?
And so we're going to hear a song by the Pet Shop Boys. And some of the exciting things we're able to do on the net is have the song information displayed.
All right, so we're listening to the song as we might on just a normal radio station now.
Correct.
But what else can I do?
Well, you have the song information. We have the album cover here. And let's say you wanted to find some information about the Pet Shop Boys.
Okay.
I'm going to click over to Artist Info, which is right on our player, and we have a relationship with My Launch and UBL, where you can actually learn about the Pet Shop Boys and kind of find out what they're up to these
This is
days.
better than a radio station. I don't have to wait till the guy identifies the song and who the artist was.
Correct.
Whether he's going to read the album notes for me or whatever. I just go do it myself whenever I want to do it.
Correct. And many times if you're driving in your car and you hear a great song, you're
Yeah.
interested in buying that song, it's very difficult to actually remember the name of the album by the time you get to the record
All right,
store.
so, all right, that's a good point. Suppose I like this CD and I say I want to buy that.
Well,
You're going to tell me I can do it right now online.
buy this CD at Amazon.com. So we have a relationship with Amazon.com where you can actually purchase this CD right online, and it will end up at your doorstep the next day.
So this is the whole ball game. I mean, it's the record store, it's the bookstore, it's the radio station, all together in one again.
Yeah, and we have direct connections to our listeners where they can actually give feedback about the music.
Well, that's
So-
your ratings system thing?
Yeah,
How
and
does
so,
that work?
So I'm going to go in, and I tend to like this song because it's talking about making lots of money. So I'm going to give this song a 10. And
So I'm
what-
just a listener, you're playing a song, I say, hey, I like that song, I'd like them to play that a lot or keep that in the playlist, so I just vote for it and give it my own rating.
Yeah, and that data goes back to our server farm. We have a huge collection of Sun machines that are co-located down here, and that data goes into an Oracle database. It's kind of takes advantage of proprietary technology that we've been working on over the last 2.5 years, allows us to better the playlist and offer a better service to our listeners.
So you're playing some song and everybody gives it a 1, that gets dumped from the playlist.
That's
Everybody
correct.
gives Pet Shop Boys a 10, and that gets up in the list, plays more often, stays on there.
Yep.
This is a really like democratic populist radio station, finally. Right?
Yes, yeah, it works very well.
All right, what else can we do here? Well, first of all, how many channels do you have in there? Now, I heard you have like over 100 different stations here.
Yeah, let's just jump right into our edit presets. Since we have so many different channels, we have to organize them in a certain fashion. So here we have them organized by music genre. If we jump into classical, you see we have numerous classical stations, jazz and blues. Just even looking at blues, we have 6 different types of blues stations, all blues,
So
Chicago
this is like
blues.
every music format in the world is available now in one place.
Correct.
It doesn't depend on what stations are in the city I'm living in. Right?
Correct. And yeah, today we only have 100 channels. With our technology, we can easily go up to 500 or 1,000 different channels of music.
Couple of questions. Where is the music really coming from? Are you rebroadcasting radio stations, or are you this monster radio station yourself?
We have a huge server farm of our own music that we are able to broadcast from these Sun machines, as I mentioned. So we have relationships with record labels who supply us their content, similar to traditional radio stations, but we are the generator of the music
So you're this
broadcast.
huge record store that can play any record in your collection, and I can decide what that ought to be.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, last question. Now, the quality I'm listening to right here sounds very, very good, and I don't know what it sounds like when people are watching on TV. How good is it? I mean, is this going to sound as good as my FM radio?
It's going to be similar to your FM radio, and the one exciting thing is there's many different companies who are bettering the technology. I mean, the net's moving so quickly.
Going to get better.
It's going to get better.
David is great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, well, the internet is not only creating new types of radio stations, it is changing the way traditional broadcast radio stations run their business. A great example is a website run by Davey D. He's a hip-hop DJ at radio station KMEL in San Francisco.
Check 1 2 1 2 1 2. Wednesday, October 28th. Well, damn it, it had to happen. Just when you thought it was over, the self-proclaimed kings of rap are about to make a return.
Davey D has a popular radio show at San Francisco's KMEL where he reviews CDs and provides news and commentary about the hip-hop world. Since becoming a fixture on the airwaves, Davey has expanded to the internet, where his website is a magnet for hip-hop fans around the world.
You're limited on what you can print out there. You got to pay for the paper. Not everybody wants a whole book, et cetera, et cetera. Radio, it's even more restricted because you have the whole ratings and all the other stuff that you got to deal with, and it's somebody else's format, and if it's a music format and you want to make commentaries, there's not a place for that, and it's very rigid in radio. With the internet, I didn't have all those confines, and my information at 50 cents an hour, which is what I make, is equal to the guy who's making $100,000 an hour.
Davey's website is not just an internet version of his radio show, but a densely packed resource of hip-hop culture, from musical definitions to lively message boards and commentary.
To me, hip-hop is more than just music. It's the culture, it's the politics, it's the sociology, it's everything. And so that's what I tried to encompass with the site. And you can't do that on any other medium without having to really pay the bills, so to speak. You also have to make sure that you don't repeat what you do above line online. Otherwise, it's not going to work. And I think a lot of people make that mistake. Well, we'll just put a radio network on there. Are you sure the person on the internet wants to listen to radio?
Davey D's site does offer a real audio webcast, but Davey limits the content to material that doesn't pose copyright problems, such as interviews.
10 in the morning with your breakfast club on your people's station. 106 KME. We got the notorious B.I.G. And our house coming up.
The site's message board does not shy away from controversy and covers subjects from white rappers to the death of Tupac Shakur. But Davey expects some friction to show up at any effective web community.
There's a lot of people that like to hide behind not being known or seen when they're on the internet, and they tend to pop off on the mouth or on the typewriter. You got white kids that like to use racial epithets. You got kids who would say things that they would never say if they saw you in real life. There are a lot of kids that will pretend, and they live these fantasies out through their writings on the internet. And then you got people that are like, I'm here for information, I'm serious about it, et cetera, et cetera. There's that type of war that goes on. That's the beauty of the internet. You can exchange these ideas verbally, learn, sit back, ponder about it, and come away more informed, as opposed to having your emotions lead to some sort of irreversible actions.
Davey says that the net's lack of financial constraints lets him publish as much or as little as he likes without offending sponsors. At the same time, he is aware of the potential impact of his growing web community.
There's a generation of people that grew up on this music and on this culture that have a lifestyle, that have a viewpoint, a political stance, all those things that make life necessary. They have those positions, and it's never really been reflected in traditional means because, for one, it's not easy to nurture, it's not easy to control and understand, and you got people going, we got to pay bills, and sex and violence immediately sells. I don't know about all this other stuff. And so with the internet, I think I'm trying to build that consciousness and also make people understand that you're just not here alone in San Francisco or Oakland or in New York City, but you're part of a global community.
For the Computer Chronicles, I'm Sarah O'Brien.
In the true tradition of the internet, one of the beauties of web radio is that you, the user, are in control. You can virtually create your own customized radio station. A good example of that is a website called imagineradio.com, and that's yours, Brad. So, you know, you live in a city, you got 35 radio stations, but none of them really puts it together the way I would like it to be. So you're saying I can just create my radio station on your website.
That's exactly the right idea.
How do I do it?
Most people have eclectic music taste, and so this is what you can do if you're one of those people.
So I go to imagineradio.com.
We're just going to go right to the customization because we're going to create a radio station.
Customize my personal radio station.
We're going to create a station just for you, Stuart.
My playlist,
All
okay.
Right. Chaffee.
All right, just put in my last name. That'll be
okay,
my username.
Username and password.
How about just the first 5 letters, CHEIF? We'll use that for my password.
Okay,
now.
Well, you're going to have to change it, otherwise your viewers are going to go crazy.
Well, that's all right. Maybe they'll like my radio station.
So we're just created an account. So the first step is to give you a chance to take a shortcut and basically pick the types of music you like.
Okay, that's sort of standard formats there. Okay, you got a little number rating.
Exactly.
So let's say I want it to be basically jazz. So I'll give a high. I want a lot of jazz, straight ahead jazz elements in there.
Well, we're going to rate your jazz artist a 4 then, out of 5.
Maybe a little bit of soul, a little bit of classic soul.
Let's go with 2 on that one. Anything else catch your attention here?
All right, give me.
How about a little dance?
Okay, give me a 1. A 1 on dance. That'll be my balance.
Okay, excellent. So we go ahead and hit.
So they're the sort of broad parameters of what I want my station to sound like.
This is a shortcut, and so what you're able to do is you're able to edit them on a artist-by-artist basis at any time.
All right, yes, I want to really get in there and create the playlist by artist.
You got it.
I can do that.
Exactly. So what I've done here is we've pulled up the list of artists, and right now they're sorted by the new artists we've added in the last 2 weeks.
So same idea. Say, hey, I want to hear some of this guy a lot and this guy a little bit, et cetera.
Right.
So let's just, I mean, I don't know half of these people here, actually, but let's just go pick some.
Neither do I, tell you the truth. All right,
so how about Black Moon, actually?
All right,
Black Moon. So let's give a lot.
Okay, Black Moon.
I like a lot
let's
of
make
Black
them a 5 then.
Okay.
And the Bodines, I know them, they're pretty good.
Got
let's
it,
go
Bodines, not too bad.
There we go.
Let's throw in a couple other guys here. Yeah, Don Byron.
Don Byron.
Not too bad. Let's
Sounds
give him
good.
some.
Okay, well, then what we'll do is, so now you've got some jump starts.
I've picked some
and
artists.
You got some artists. So let's check out and see what you have. So you can click the show button, and we're going to see what Stuart's station's looking like. Now, of course,
all right, so this is now the sort of the generated playlist for Stuart's radio station.
This is. And so what you can see here on this side is the weights, and we just weighted Black Moon a 5 and Don Byron a 4. These are the jump starts, so we picked these are all the jazz musicians. Down here we have the soul, and then down here is the dance. What it does is it uses these as probabilities and then creates a playlist for you. Every time you tune in, you get a new rotation of songs
and I assume
based on these artists.
I can go back in and edit and fine-tune my station when I want.
As a matter of fact, you can, and we're listening right now. We got.
So this is my station now.
We're listening. Yeah, this is it. This
all
is
right,
your,
Aretha
check it out. It
Franklin,
even
Spirit
says
in the Dark. Not too bad. This is your customized
your customized station, and here's Aretha Franklin, and so say you're like, yeah, I love Aretha. She's great. So you can click edit. Right here, and what you'll do is you have the ability to...
Give me a little more Aretha. I want up her in the playlist,
Right,
maybe?
So we have her as a 2. And so
Make her a 3?
You want a 3? All right, so done. We're there.
All right, now suppose I want to share my radio station. Hey, I'm really proud of my radio station. I want my friends to listen to it.
Right, so what you can do is you can go ahead and email them and say, I've got the best station possible.
All right, Stuart Radio. Right?
Stuart Radio. And so what you're able to do is you can put your station up in a scene. We call them scenes. They're basically sub-communities on the site.
So it's like communities of radio stations which are similar?
Exactly. So what do you want to call your station, Stuart?
Stu Radio. What the heck? S-T-E-W. Okay.
Stu Radio. What scene do you want to put it in? We got the Sane Asylum,
I don't know. You tell me what would be
Tunnel of Love.
Tunnel of Love. All right. What the heck?
Okay, excellent. So we've added to the Tunnel of Love, and if you want to email a friend, you can go ahead and click a button here, and you can send an email, and it'll append the URL to your station in the bottom of the email. So basically, they can
I've started a radio station. Here's the URL. Click here to go to it.
It goes straight to it. All right. So otherwise, you can say, go check out Imagine Radio. We're going to go to the scenes here. Here are the different scenes.
Well, these are the sort of neighborhoods, the communities of similar kinds of radio stations.
That's it. And up here, here's the Tunnel of Love.
Into Tunnel of Love.
Yep. So we're going to find you in here.
All right, so that's my radio station.
Check it out. Here's Stu Radio.
There is Stu Radio. I'm on the list.
So what we can do is we can go ahead and look at it again, which we've been here before. We've seen it.
Yeah.
Or we could go back and we can just directly play it.
And what happens when new songs come out, new CDs come out? I can then incorporate them in my station.
What you can do is you can actually set it up so that as a new artist is added to a certain format, it'll get added to your playlist accordingly.
I love it. My radio station. All right,
ImagineRadio.com.
Thank you so much, Brad. All right, well, the web is doing a lot more than launching new radio stations and retransmitting local broadcast stations around the world. It is creating its own new genre of radio programs and radio celebrities, and one of them is the host of Geek Radio, David Lawrence. David, welcome to our program.
Stuart.
Okay, so you do your own radio show on the web, and you didn't have to go to CBS. Nobody had to agree. You just said, I want to do a radio show.
Actually, I got picked out of this huge, vast morass of people and won a $10,000 prize to do my own show on audiocast.net.
But I could do it too if I wanted to, right?
Any
guy can do it. That's
absolutely.
All right, first of all, let's listen to your show. I go to the web and I want to listen to Geek Radio.
This is what it sounds like.
Hardcore net news for you. The Net Guy. Here's
So you're in a computer talk show on the web, and I can listen to it whenever I want, not just when you're on the air, right?
Yeah, it's on demand on audiocast.net. You just go and click on Geek Radio, and this comes up.
Which is, again, better than real radio when I have to make an appointment to listen to your show. All right, so as I said, you've done this, or you were lucky some guy picked you to do this, but a lot of people say, hey, I want my own radio show too. I want to do an interview show. You can do it now, right?
Very simple.
What does it take to do it?
Talk radio in particular is really nice because when you hear talk in full fidelity as we record it, or you hear talk compressed with Real Audio or Vivo over the web, there's not that much difference with talk radio. You can hear a big difference with music, but talk is great because the pain of download is not even near.
And you can compress a lot and the quality's still pretty
Absolutely.
good. Let's start from scratch. I want to do my own radio talk show. What do I do?
First thing you need is a good set of headphones.
Microphone and a pair of earphones.
$25.
That's easy.
Koss SB10, one of the best in the industry for the price.
All right.
Plug that into your computer.
Got my computer.
Get a piece of...
Internet's my transmitter and my stick, right?
That's right. I've taken the liberty of already recording a little piece of the show as if I had worn my headsets and doing it.
All right, so the bit is I would like tape normally my half-hour interview show. Suppose I'm doing a show with you. I tape it. Now I have to move it into my web radio station.
Correct. And it's a two-step process. You take the original fidelity, compress it, and then put it on the web.
So this is an opening you created for the show?
Right. Just a quick 30-second version of what we had done before.
Right.
Now this is CD quality. We'll take this piece of software, about $60, Audio Shop.
Okay.
And we'll move over to the free Real Encoder. Now this will take that beautiful CD quality sound and mash it down to about 1/40th of the size, making it real easy to download and stream.
All right, now this is the software you were talking about? Okay.
Yeah, and all we've done is we've told it what we want the title to be when it comes up on the screen.
So again, when it comes up, the title will show and the author and all that stuff, the normal things you would see when you're playing stuff on the web.
This is where you insert that stuff.
And what are you doing on the right there?
On the right, I'm telling it what level of modem connection I want people to be able to hear it at.
So even if a guy has a 28.8, I want him to be able to hear my show.
Actually, all the way down to a 14.4 if I wanted to, and for talk, that's not bad.
Sure. So we'll say voice quality 28.8 is where I want to aim.
Great. And all we do is say click and go, and it says, all right, I'm going to encode this, and you see the meters moving as they would normally.
Encoding and compressing and squeezing this down to a reasonable file, which is going to go down quickly.
And much like the Galloping Gourmet, I've already done that, and it's in the Real Player ready to go. If you were to go to your website and click on this link.
And I did my radio show, there it would be. And I just
click
just
pop over here to Real Player would come up, and you click it, and this is what you'd hear.
And that's that little opening you just created. And the quality is pretty reasonable, actually, even though you've got some music going.
Very similar to what it would be in CD, and not fatiguing at all, not hard to listen to. Very similar to what you'd hear on a CD quality.
And that's it. Now, how do I get it out there? I mean, you're dealing with AudioCast on your show. Do I have to work with them, or can I just put it on my own website?
No, you can put it on your own website, and you don't even need a server when you're first getting started. You can actually stream without a Real Player server or without Real Audio server. You can just serve it up what's called pseudo-serving through your website.
Right.
And if you get a lot of listeners, then go buy yourself a server, get yourself e-commerce, start selling stuff. You know, you're off and running, and you'll be the next millionaire.
Wow. So anybody who wants to, I want to do my radio show, I want to start my talk radio station, not just listen to somebody else's music, but create my own content.
You bet.
It takes $100 and a little bit of time.
If that, yeah. That's great.
And you're doing it.
Yes.
Geek Radio.
Spending my time doing just
David,
that.
thank you so much. That is really cool. All right, that's our look at web radio. I'll be back in just a minute with my pick of the week. Now for my pick of the week. When computers first came out, they copied the form factor of the typewriter, so we had keyboards. But we soon learned that a mouse was a more appropriate interface for many tasks. Now that computers are becoming web surfing machines, we're still stuck with the PC metaphor, keyboards and mice. But working on the internet requires a totally different input model than creating a Word document or a spreadsheet. So the clever folks at a company called Circ have come out with a new kind of internet-oriented PC input device called the CruiseCat, or the Internet Pad, and this is it. Basically, it works like a typical touchpad with an area in here for pointing and mouse-type buttons for left and right clicks. But what the CruiseCat has is special hot zones on the touchpad, which let you instantly scroll up and down, let you scroll left and right, or actually let you zoom in on a document. Plus, it has an area for navigating forward and backward on web pages. And it has these hot buttons, which are programmed to instantly launch a web browser, launch an email client, or an audio CD player. You can also write shortcut symbols on the touchpad. It comes preset with simple Windows commands like make an X over here to close an application, Write an M to maximize a window, do a little dash to minimize a window. If I scribble the letter B on the pad, it automatically opens my bookmarks, or I can program in other web functions like add to my bookmark list and so on. The CruiseCat is a very cool device, and it comes bundled with software, including NetNanny, Spam Killer, and Earthlink's Total Access 2.0. That's it for this edition of the Chronicles. We'll be back here again next week with more of the latest in hardware, software, and the Internet. Thanks for joining us. I hope we'll see you here next time.
The Computer Chronicles is brought to you by BigStar.com, with thousands of videos and DVDs for the whole family. Additional support by TechWeb for up-to-the-minute technology news. And by TVA, Television Associates, bridging the worlds of computers and video with DVD authoring and MPEG encoding services.
To purchase a video